Now, let's talk about a story that we've got on our BBC News website, and it's about people from African countries who are volunteering to fight in Ukraine. There are several hundred Africans who say that they are willing to take up arms in the battle against Russia, partly to escape the bleak prospects faced by many young men in their home countries. The BBC's Soraya Ali has been speaking to some of them and joins me now in the studio. Tell us more about the people that you've been speaking to.
Good evening. Hi. Yes, so the motivations for a lot of these young men are very varied. Most of them did want to make clear that for whatever reason they found that this war was very black and white, and they were very much motivated by the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's global appeal for what he called an international legion of volunteers to come and stand, as he put it, shoulder to shoulder with Ukrainians. So that's really what motivated them, and their reasoning was very varied. Some of them were drawn by the prospect that Ukraine was offering military equipment and training and a salary that they later clarified was, any army around the world does offer. And for some of them, they said their prospects in countries like Nigeria were bleak. I spoke to one philosophy graduate who said he was unable to get a job post-university, and he figured, why not go and join the war in Ukraine as one option. For others, they made very clear that their reasoning had nothing to do with financial gain or the prospect of citizenship. They just felt that they had to take part in this war, and it was a moment in history. And a lot of them also, were former military men or Red Cross workers who really felt that their experience and expertise could be used in Ukraine. But African governments have since clamped down a bit on what they saw as this recruitment effort. So it's unclear how many of them will be able to go.
Yes, and we have seen this response to Zelensky's appeal from people all over the world, haven't we? But I wonder, which countries in Africa have you been seeing this response coming from these volunteers?
So I've spoken to people in Nigeria, Senegal, Algeria, and Kenya, who all said that for all of these different reasons, they were motivated to join the war. And then, of course, a lot of African governments have now clamped down on what they saw as this active recruitment effort by Ukraine. So the Nigerian Foreign Ministry has come out and said that it will not tolerate the recruitment of its citizens. Senegal also warned its citizens against enlisting and went so far as to remind everyone that it is illegal and punishable by law to recruit mercenaries in Senegal. And they ordered the Ukrainian ambassador to take down a Facebook post that was calling on Senegalese volunteers, as did the Algerian Foreign Ministry. So there's really been this clampdown from African governments.
So while the people were willing to go and Ukraine wanted them to go, the government said, no, you actually can't do this. In light of that, how many will actually manage to go or might?
So it's unclear how many African volunteers will be able to go. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry did say after the first week following Zelensky's appeal, they did say that they'd had 20,000 applications, but they are naturally being quite tight-lipped about the nationalities of these applicants, and it's unclear if any Africans will now be able to actually join those on the front line. I was speaking to one Red Cross worker who said that the Ukrainian embassy is now not taking any Africans in Nigeria. For example, a Ukrainian official in Nigeria has said that they're turning away all Africans now because of this government clampdown. And the official website for registering for this international legion of foreign fighters now does not include the details of any African embassies. One representative working for the website did say that this was due to regulatory restrictions, kind of hinting at what the African governments have said. So it's really unclear if any African volunteers or hopeful fighters are on the front line, or if they'll be able to make it there at all.
And obviously, we've been hearing about different sentiments to this war coming from different countries. But I wonder what people that you've spoken to have told you about. What is it in particular that made them think, I want to go and fight in this war? What have they seen coming from out of Ukraine that's made them want to make that decision?
So a lot of them did say that this war has unfolded before their eyes. You know, it's been documented heavily on social media, online, and they were all kind of united in this idea that this war was very black and white compared to other wars. They felt that wars in their own countries might have different factors and different competing interests, whereas this, it was very clear Ukraine versus Russia. And to them, they felt that Russia was a clear enemy and that they really had to defend Ukraine as a someone who they put, as the way one of them put it, was being bullied.
Hmm. Really interesting stuff. The BBC's Suraya Ali, thank you very much for
Thank you.
joining us to talk through that reporting that you've been doing.